Hello, this is Rachael Plaine, and we are here at Berkshire Yoga Dance and Fitness for our candlelight yoga class at Friday night at 5:30. So we're going to start in a reclined, supported position. So if you guys have your props, go ahead and gather up anything that you have, bolster, blocks, blankets. If you have those, that's great. If not, don't worry. You can use them or not use them. So we'll go through our hour-long class, a nice restorative pose to start, gentle stretching, relaxation, and meditation. We'll do some standing flow and have plenty of time to relax at the very end. So you guys can make yourselves comfortable on your mat, and I'll guide you into this first pose. So fingers crossed that the Wi-Fi on my phone keeps us through this class. So we'll get going. So I'm going to start you off in a supported rest pose. So I have my bolster propped up with some blocks here. You could also use a blanket, you could use a pillow, you could use a couch cushion, you could slide whatever you want underneath it to make an angle. You could also be lying on your back. For legs, I'm going to do my legs in reclined bound angle, and today I'm going to do that by putting my feet together, placing the blanket on top, and just tucking the blanket underneath the legs. You could also do this with blocks. If you have a long blanket or anything, go ahead and wrap it around the feet and under the knees. If you have blocks, put them underneath the knees, whatever you have. And if you have nothing, you can do this on your back. So you're going to come lay down. You can close your eyes and let your body start to settle in. So again, you're on your back, so you're either supported by the bolster and the cushions and the blocks and the pillows, or you're lying flat on the back. If you chose to be in reclined bound angle, you have the feet together and the knees apart. You could support that position by wrapping a blanket around your feet and tucking it underneath your knees. You could also have the knees placed on blocks. And then as you find your way in, just go ahead and close your eyes. And start to feel your whole body relax. Start to feel the weight of your body drop. Whatever you're carrying, any tension in the body, in the mind, in the heart. Physical tension, emotional tension. Any stress, anxiety, worry, just let that go. Give yourself this opportunity to find peace and ease and grace for the rest of our time together tonight. Knowing that in this particular moment, there's nowhere else you need to be. There's nothing else you need to do. Giving yourself permission to take this important time out to care for yourself, to refill your own well, to invite in whatever you need to help strengthen your body, your mind, your spirit, to invite in all the goodness and blessings and abundance that you deserve. Feeling yourself wrapped in this state of warmth and peace and love and compassion, protected, cared for, held. Begin to notice your breath without shaping or controlling the breath, just noticing that you're breathing. Tuning into where you feel the breath enter and exit the body. With each inhale and each exhale, feeling more and more relaxed, more and more at peace. Feel the breath extend to all the edges and corners of your body. As if you could breathe into those spaces that might not normally receive your breath. Creating more room, more space, more ease for the breath to travel through the body, bringing everything that you need. That life force, prana, healing energy, inspiration, courage, health, vitality. Breathing all that goodness into your body, into your mind, into your heart. And then from where you are, take another deep in breath. As you exhale, just let the head fall gently to the right, so you don't have to pick it up. You can just roll it to the right, and then you'll send your breath and awareness to the left side of your neck. Take a deep inhale. And full exhale. As you breathe in, move the head through center. And as you exhale, turn your head the other way and pause. Breathe into the right side of the neck. Deep inhale. And full exhale. On the next in-breath, let your head roll through center. And exhale right where you are. You can let the hands float outer edges of the legs, just to help guide the inner thighs back together. You can place the hands in the belly and just widen the feet for a moment. So if that blanket's on there, just let that be wherever it is. Inner thighs touch, knees touch, hands on the belly. Take one big Dirga 3-part breath. Breathe into the lowest part of the belly, the middle section of the ribs, and the upper portion of the heart. Exhale to release the chest, the ribs, and the lower belly. And then when you're ready, just bring the knees up towards the ceiling. You can stretch the arms off of the body, and then maybe take a little easy windshield wiper. So I know you're propped up on that blanket perhaps, so whatever that looks like, it doesn't have to be big, but just a little shift or movement of the knees, of the hips, just to loosen up the low back and kind of get the blood flowing here as we prepare to come to one side. And then when you're ready, come on to either side to a fetal pose. So you could do this either on your props that you might have set up for yourself, or you could do this on the ground. So just rolling to the right or the left, coming on the props or off the props. Good. And then using the top arm, just help press yourself up to seated. And you can scoot just far enough away from the props so that you have room to sit. We'll just be here a few moments, so you can sit on the ground or on a prop if you wanted to. And then inhale, sweep the arms high, lift up. Exhale, bring the hands to prayer and close the eyes for a moment. Take some time to bow your head to your heart and create any intention you'd like for this evening, for this weekend, as you set yourself up to move out of the work week or out of the midweek and into your weekend. And how do you want to feel this weekend? How do you want to feel tonight? Inviting that in. As you breathe in, slide your hands to the ceiling, lengthen the arms, lift the face, and exhale to open the arms wide behind you. Bring your chin to your chest and let the fingers interlace. Take one heart opener, press the fist down, squeeze the chest open, lift the face. And exhale, release the gaze, release the hands, and roll the shoulders. Let's clear our space. So if you were using props, we can just go ahead and move them out of the way. So if you had a bolster, you can take that off to the side. If you had blocks, You might want to put those right at the front edge of the mat to use, but you don't have to use them. And then let's tip back and unwind our legs. Take your feet as wide as the mat and just a few windshield wipers side to side. Good. Loosening up the back, the knees, and the hips. Good. And then bring the knees to the right. Turn your head to the left and maybe taking a couple steady breaths here. Where you are, bring your left hand up to the left hip, right fingers face the back. Take that familiar hip warm-up you've done with me before. If we practiced together, press the thigh forward, look behind. And then press the hip down and look to the front or all the way over to the side. And let's do that a couple times. It's a great way to just open up the hips. Inhale to lift and turn to the back. Exhale, release the hip, turn to the front or the side. And then one more time, inhale, float forward. Exhale, release back. Last time here, inhale to lift. And exhale, release. Reach the arm off the hip to look at the thumb or beyond the thumb. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, release the hand, press into the back hand, lift the arm, and if you wanted to elevate the hips, you could press the hips up. Exhale, release the arm, release the hips. You can look back towards your thumb. And do that twice more. Inhale, lift the arm, lift the hips. Exhale, release. Good. Last time. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, release. This time we're just going to use our arms. So inhale, lift the arm up, lift the ribs up off the hips, look up, and release the hand in front of that shin. So you're framing your knee. Come into your modified pigeon pose. So you can walk over the knee. You could be on the hands, or you could take it to the forearms. You could also open the elbows, stack the palms or fists, and let the head drop. So you'll take just a few breaths in this modified version of pigeon. And this is a nice posture to just keep in your back pocket if you're ever in a class where they're offering pigeon pose and there's anything going on in the knees or the hips that would not allow you to access the full pose. This is a good modification for pigeon. So a couple breaths here. Good. From where you are, lengthen the spine, walk yourself back, bring that left hand in front of the shin, right hand in front of the thigh, press down into the fingertips, lift the heart, lift the chest, look up. And exhale, release the gaze back down. You're in a cartwheel, the front arm up and over, and then bring the knees up and over. Let the knees go to the left, turn your head to the right. You can have that steady gaze just to your focal point. Take a deep breath in. And full breath out. And then bring right hand to right hip or hand to front hip, back fingers face the back. And we'll do the same thing we did on the other side. So just go ahead and press that thigh forward, look to the side or the back. And exhale, press the hip down, look to the front. Good. And do that a couple times. Good job. Exhale to release. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, press it forward, look to the side or the back. And exhale, release down. Reach the hand off the hip, look at the thumb or beyond the thumb. Take a deep in breath. And full out breath. One more deep inhale here. And as you exhale, release the hand, press into the back hand, float the hips up, lift the belly, lift the heart. You could also just do the arm. And exhale, release the hips, sweep the arm all the way to the side. Do that a couple more times. Release the arm, lift the hips, look up. And exhale, release. Sweep the arm to the side. One more time. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, release. From here, you're going to take that arm, float it all the way up to the ceiling, but keep the hips where they are. Lift up and look up. Exhale to release the hand in front of the shin, and we'll walk to that modified pigeon again. So one option would be to stay up tall and proud. You could pause there. Or if you want to be in a forward fold, walk onto the hands, the fingers, or the forearms, or open the elbows, stack palms or fists, and take a few breaths. Good, lengthen your spine. Come all the way up, walk the hands back to frame the front knee, lift the heart, lift the chest, look all the way up. And then release the gaze. One more time, cartwheel the front arm up and over. We'll take the knees one time to the right, one time to the left, and then bring your knees right up through center. Wiggle the feet hip width. Turn the fingers to face the hips. Press into the palms, lift the heart, modified reverse table, or come all the way up to reverse table. Lift the hips in line with the thighs, chin to chest, or your head falls back. Couple breaths. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, sit down. Go ahead and open the knees apart. Bring your hands to your ankles. Lift the heart so you're in bound angle or Baddha Konasana. Long, straight, flat back here. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Bring the hands to the feet. You can also press the forearms into the calves, lengthen the spine, or round your back. And take a few breaths. Good. Lengthen to come up. Let's stay here on the mat for a moment and take the right leg out to the side. So you're in a half straddle and bring the left foot to your inner thigh. And then we'll line the sternum up with our knee and just take a hold of that knee. So you've got a little bit of rotation here. And flex the foot of the long leg. And you're just taking a nice easy twist. And then sweep the left arm out and up as you twist gently up and over. So there's a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a side bend. You could look up or you could look down towards the ground. Good, come on up. And then let's switch the rotation of the spine. So now bring the sternum in line with the long leg. Take the left hand outside that leg. The right arm comes long and start to walk over the leg to hold the leg, the ankle, or the foot. And you can let the head drop. Good. And from here, lengthen your spine. Come on up, cartwheel the left arm up and over. Press down into the left hand, point the toes of the right leg. Right arm sweeps down. You could either lift just the arm or press the hips up, roll right under the front shin. And exhale, release. Good job. Let's go the other way. So take your left leg out, your right foot to inner thigh, flex the left foot. We'll line our sternum up with our knee, so you get into that little bit of rotation, and then sweep the right arm out and up to take that side stretch. And you could look up and breathe. Good. Inhale, come on up. Exhale to turn sternum in line with leg. Left hand comes outside the leg. Right arm crosses the leg, sitting up long and tall, and then slide down the leg. Touch the leg, the ankle, or the outer edge of the foot, and then let the head drop. Couple breaths. Good, come on up. Hand that's touching the leg, cartwheel it up and over, press down into the hand, point the toes of the long leg, and then sweep the left arm down to pick you up and look up. Release back down, and we'll come to all fours. So you could either cross the legs and come over the shins and ankles, or you could swing the legs around and get yourself to tabletop. You're just coming up to all fours. Good. And then bring your hands in front of your shoulders and take some hip circles. And I'm so glad that it seemingly is still working, the internet. I can still see myself and I can still see you guys. And there's no emergency chat messages popping up. So hopefully we're okay for the rest of class here. Good. And then when the hips come to the back, go ahead and swing the other way. And then when the hips come to the back, take your wide knee child's, touch the big toes, Separate the knees, sink the hips, extend the arms, let the forehead land, and just rock side to side. Good. So if this is your first time joining us for this candlelight class, it's a nice, gentle class, relaxing class, easy class. So just nice fluid movement, slow, steady warm up. We'll come to stand in a moment. Take a few breaths here. Good job. And then with arms extended, roll through your cat. Bring your knees underneath your hips. Keep shifting forward. Dip the hips. Lift the belly. Lift the heart. So you come to a variation of up dog with the knees on the mat. You can lift the head all the way up. And then bring the hips towards your heels. And just take that a few times to undulate the spine, to work out any stuck energy in the body, any tension, and hips to heels. Okay, let's go one more time, and this time go ahead and come all the way to your belly. When you get down, hands back underneath chest, you're going to come right on up to Cobra. Come on your fingertips, though. Lift the heart, lift the chest. Come right up on the fingers. Lift the heart, lift the chest. You're up on your fingers. And exhale, release back down. Now bring your fingers a little wider out to the corners of the mat. Press down into your fingers. Roll on up again. Press the pubic bone down. Lift the heart, lift the chest. You're on fingertips. And exhale, release back down. Bring the hands underneath the shoulder. One more time, lift to a baby cobra, and then slide the right arm forward, the left arm forward, so you come up to Sphinx pose. You're on your elbows. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Your fingers are wide. The chest, the heart opens. Take a breath. And then take a little head circle. Drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Bring the chin down to the chest. Bring the left ear to the left shoulder. And then gently circle it up and around. So not too far back, just more up than back. Another circle. Good. And then as you complete that second circle and the chin comes down towards the chest, reverse direction, do 2 circles the other way. Maybe close your eyes. Just feel the neck, the head, the shoulders. You're doing great. And then letting the chin fall towards the chest. Last time, just lift the head up as you press down into the elbows, down into the pubic bone, and slide your tailbone towards your heels so your low back is long. Take a deep inhale. On an exhale, release. Open the elbows. Bring your hands back near the chest. Press up to tabletop, all fours. Curl your toes under. And we're going to step out to puppy pose. So keep your hips high and then walk the hands forward. Melt the chest. Spread the fingers wide. Bring the chin or the forehead towards the mat. Couple breaths. Good. Bring the hands back so they're kind of underneath the shoulders. And you're just going to rock up to stand. So press into the hands and rock your weight back so you can come stand on your feet. Feet are hip width. You can have a soft bend in the knees. And give your head a shake, yes. And give your head a shake, no. Let your head hang heavy. Hold opposite elbow and take a little rock side to side. Good. And hanging out here, let the hands come off of the elbows, bend the knees generously, and slowly, slowly, slowly roll up. At the top, big sun breath, lift up. Exhale, hands to prayer. You'll close your eyes. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, release the arms. Go ahead and step up to the top of your mat. So I'm going to take a big walk forward. And then sweep the arms out and up all the way above the head. Keep your palms together tonight. Bend the knees, bend the hips. Come through Utkatasana. So you come all the way through prayer. And then drop the head and drop the hands at the bottom. Inhale, lengthen your spine, bringing your hands up to your shin, away from the tail. And exhale to relax into a deep fold. Float the right leg back to a low lunge. have your hands on the ground or on the blocks if you'd like to use them. And we'll just take that leg warm up. So bend the back knee, lift the heart, and then lift the hips up, straighten the legs. And take that a couple times. Bend the knees, lift the hip, or lift the heart. Exhale, lift the hips, straighten the legs. This time bend just the front knee and pause here. See if you can come higher on the fingertips. The head is in line with the back heel, and firm up the legs and just start to feel the leg muscles working here and the core working here. Finding your balance. In a moment we're going to rise up, so see if you can get really solid here first. And then when you're ready, open up the arms. It might be a little wiggly or wobbly, but see if you could lift the arms up to your high lunge. Straighten the front knee. Exhale, open up, warrior two, back heel spins down. Take a deep breath in and full breath out. From here, straighten the front knee, reverse triangle or trikonasana, back hand to back leg. And all the way to side angle, bend the front knee, bend the front elbow, dip the upper body down to look up. Do that again. Inhale, straighten the legs, lift up, dance back. Exhale, release, side angle. And then one more time, just starting to flow with the breath. Inhale to rise. And exhale, release. Hold the bottom. Take a deep breath in here in side angle. And as you exhale, wrap the top arm behind your back. So turn the thumb down, bend your elbow, and let the back of the hand touch the back or come right into the hip. And then turn the face down. So the front knee's bent. You're in a half bind. You're just opening the chest. If that's too much, hold your hip. Take a few breaths. Firm up the legs. Find your steady gaze just to your focal point and breathe. Arm that's wrapped behind, you can slice it above the ear again. And let that arm pick you up to a reverse triangle. One more time, dance it back. Release the arms open to shoulder height. Turn the toes forward and the heels back. Lift the arms up. And as you exhale, halfway fold to catch your legs. So just holding there to catch the legs. If you can reach the ground, you can go ahead and release to the ground. In a moment, we're going to come back to a flat back. So as you inhale, lengthen your spine. Come on the fingertips, or if you can't reach the ground, put a block underneath the hands. Or if that still feels too far away, grab a hold of the legs. Bring the right hand right in front of the face if you're touching the ground or a block, or bring it to your leg. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Roll the left shoulder open and the chest. And then lift the top arm if there's space. Taking that nice big twist. Deep breath in. Full breath out. One more steady inhale. And as you exhale, release that hand. Take a moment just to come back to maybe a deeper fold. But again, if you're working a flat back on the legs, just keep that. That's awesome. You can have a micro bend in the knees if you need to, or straight legs. But just try to not lock the knees out, especially if you're hyperextending there. So a couple breaths either in your deep fold or your flat back. And then together we'll lengthen again, whether we're holding our legs or touching the ground or touching a block. Left hand more in front of the face if it's on a ground or the block. Right hand to the hip. And then roll the shoulder open. So eventually you see how that wrist is under the shoulder, which is under the other shoulder. There's one big line. And then maybe lift the top arm and look up. Good. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, release, either to your flat back or melt to your deep fold. Couple breaths. Good. Lengthen your spine one more time, so engaging the core. Bend your knees and place your hands on the thighs if they're not already there. Press off the thighs to lengthen up. Take a big sun breath. And exhale, open arms, shoulder height. Turn your left foot to the front, just as you began. Bend the left knee to warrior two. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, slow cartwheel to touch the ground or the blocks. You'll pluck the back heel up off the ground and soften the back knee. So the right hand either on the ground or on the block. And from here, pressing into that ground or block, take your left hand to your left thigh and imagine you could slide the thigh forwards, the hands on the thigh, and you give it just a little press. And as you do that, roll your shoulders open towards that leg. So you're kind of pressing forward and rotating, looking to the side. And if there's room, take that left arm and just reach it up. Good. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, release that hand inside the foot as you wiggle the foot out to the left. So we did this morning. I know some of you guys are with me this morning. So lizard lunge, but we're going to keep our back knee down. So we're not going to do that powering up that we did this morning. You could be on the ground or the blocks. If you had the blocks, you could, or not, you can do it on the blocks or not. You could drop onto a forearm, one forearm or two forearms. You could do this on the ground or the blocks. Maybe bow the head or keep a flat back. Hands could be at prayer or interlaced fingers, wherever they feel comfortable. And really breathing into the hips. So if you were here this morning, you're going to have super open hips, double session of open hips. Good. Then go ahead and come up on the hands, lengthen your spine, and then unweight your hips a little bit. So draw the weight back and swing that left leg back. You can let the big toes touch, separate the knees, and sink back to child. If you had blocks and you want to use them for child, you could wrap your fingers around the front edge of the block, or just have the arms extended and take a few breaths in child. Good. And then from where you are, shift your weight forward. If you were using blocks, you can move those out of the way. Bring your knees back underneath the shoulders, take a little hip wag, and we'll get ready to take the whole thing on the other side. So it's your choice if you want to curl the toes under and walk it out to puppy, or if you want to come to down dog. So I demonstrated puppy before. This time I'll show you dog. Toes are curled under. Hands can come a little further forward to the shoulders. With toes curled under, float the knees up and press the hips back. So either this or puppy. And if you're in dog, feel free to walk the dog, pressing one heel and the other heel. Good. And then walking feet to hands or hands to feet, as many steps as you need to come forward. Coming into forward fold, give your head a shaky yes. Give your head a shake no. And then letting the head hang heavy, bend the knees, and slowly, slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Head is the last thing to lift. At the top, big sun breath, lift up. And exhale right through prayer. Close your eyes. Come back to any intention you may have created tonight. How do you want to feel tonight, this weekend? Take a deep breath. And exhale, release your arms. Good. Make your way up to the top of the mat again. So I'll switch sides. You're here. Inhale, lift the arms all the way up. Keep your hands together. Bend the knees, bend the hips. Pour through midline all the way through that standing squat to touch the ground and drop the head. Inhale, lengthen. Bring hands to shins or fingertips to the mat so you pull the head forward. Exhale, deep fold. You can soften the knees and step the left leg back. Here's a great spot to have your blocks if you want them, but you don't need them. Bend the back knee, lift the heart. It's up to you. Exhale, lift the hips, straighten the legs, head to shin. And do that a few more times. Bend the knees, lift the heart, look up. Exhale, lift the hips, straighten the legs. head to shin. And one more time like that, bending the knees and lifting the hips. And then bend the front knee, keep the back leg straight, come up high onto those fingertips. Start to firm up your legs so you get ready to balance. So really press out through the back heel, really reach the heart forward, press down, down, down into the ground, and then free up the arms. Start to lift them up, nice and easy. Take your time, hold here when you get to your high lunge, pause, and then straighten up that front leg and open up to warrior two. Back heel spins down, arms open. So take some time to set yourself up. See if you can get your wrists right above your ankles. Look out over the front fingertips. On an inhale, reverse triangle. So you straighten the legs up. You lift the ribs. You lift the top arm. Look up. Exhale, back to warrior two. Virabhadrasana 2. And then do that twice more. Inhale, lift up, look up. And exhale, release. Last time, pick it up. And exhale, release. Hold the bottom. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, side angle. That's actually what we did on the other side. So this side, we didn't get all the way into our side angle, but that's okay. We'll hold it here. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, wrap the top arm behind you, bend the elbow, let the back of the hand touch the hip or the hip crease, and then turn the face down. And take a moment to pause and breathe. And then like we did on the other side, reach the arm above the ear, side angle, Parsva Konasana. Top arm's going to pick you up. You'll straighten the legs, reach the ribs, up off the hips, and open the waist. And then open up shoulder height. Toes forward, heels back, lift the arms up. And as you exhale, this time just come halfway down. And I'm going to take you into another thing that we worked on this morning. So bring your hands down. It's just going to be a prep for a pose called Skandasana. So it's just going to be another hip opener. So turn the left toes out and walk the hands to the left as you bend the left knee. So you're just in like a half squat. And for tonight, we're going to keep that right foot anchored down. We're not going to come into the full pose. But what you could do is you could take your left arm and just bring your inner left arm, like your forearm, and kind of press it up against the knee to help move that knee back a little bit. And you're not forcing it. You're just gently guiding it back so it's right above your ankle. And the bottom hand's kind of like helping you as a kickstand. And if it feels really hard, you could always have something under the hand. Could be holding the hip too, and breathing. I wish I was in person with you guys and I could check in and you could tell me how this is feeling. But I'm sure you're doing great. Good. And then release that, come through center. So you're going to wiggle that left foot forward, right? So our feet are parallel. Get ready for the other side. So turn the right foot out. And it goes, I forgot to say this on the other side, but it's just about 45 degrees out. So kind of more to the corner of the mat than all the way to the side of the mat. Just slightly turned out. And then you bend the knee, and you're trying to get the knee above the ankle, and you're walking the hands a little bit to that side. And same thing here, right arm can lift if you feel stable, and you're going to press the inside of the forearm right up against the knee, and just give it a little pressure to kind of help work the knee above the ankle. And then maybe you feel a really big stretch in your groin and your hips. And I can imagine you all nodding, saying, yes, we feel that. So good. Good. Good, release, walk through center. Turn the toes forward, the heels back, just to parallel out the feet again. Bend the knees, place your hands to your thighs, and press off your thighs to lengthen one more time and come up. Take a big sun breath, lift. Exhale, arms open, shoulder height, and then spin the right foot forward, so that foot that you were just working. Bend the right knee to warrior two or Virabhadrasana 2, deepen breath. And exhale, slow cartwheel, right arm, left arm, pivot on the ball of the back foot, and soften the back knee. Good. Hold here. So just like we did on the other side, left hand could be on the ground or the block. You're going to set up for this variation of a twist. We're going to start by bringing the right hand to the top of the right thigh, and you're just kind of pushing that thigh forwards. If I was over here, I have my hand here, and I'm just kind of pressing it forward as I'm pressing my chest away and rotating towards that front leg. And then if you can, you're going to reach the top arm to the ceiling and look up, holding that. So you're going to stay. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, release the hand inside the front leg. So wiggle the front leg out a little bit more. Now you're in lizard lunge. You could be on the hands, or again, drop onto the left forearm, or maybe the right forearm too, on the ground or the blocks. Couple breaths. Good. Walk the hands back, come back up onto the hands. Back out of the hips, drag the front leg back, bring the big toes to touch, widen the knees, and sink back to child's pose. Couple breaths. Good. And then let the hands drift back towards the shoulders. Let's press into the hands to roll up nice and easy. And then come to sit in cross legs. So bring the hips off to the side. Bring the legs around. Oh my goodness. It's so much later than I thought it was. Let's come ready to go on our back. So scooch up forward. There's so much to do. You'll have to come back next week. Lift the arms up, sit up tall. If you have a prop nearby, grab that. So I'll take you into a supported bridge in a moment. Tuck the tail, scoop the belly, come all the way onto your back. And then when you get all the way down, just take a nice big stretch. You can extend the arms behind you, legs in front of you. And then bring the knees up into your belly. Wrap the arms around the legs, hold the knees, give yourself a hug and a rock. Good. Bring your hands to your knees, circle your knees one way. Circle your knees the other way. Good. Hugging knees up into belly. Just open the knees apart, slide the hands down the shins, catch the ankles or the feet, and just pull the feet towards the groin. Knees are wide, eyes can close. So just like we did in the beginning of class, seated on our mats in bound angle or Baddha Konasana, just trying that out on our backs here. And relaxing the muscles in the face, the eyes. Good. Feeling your back lengthen as the hips open. And then from here, perhaps you could flex the feet up to the ceiling to take a happy baby, holding the outer edges of the feet, ankles, or grab a hold of the big toes and take a rock. Good. And pausing here, bring the feet towards each other. Bring the hands towards the knees, bring the legs back together, and release the feet onto the mat. Let's take the feet about hip width distance apart. If you have your prop, your bolster, or your block, I'm going to invite you to come into supported bridge pose. So you'd press into your feet and just elevate the hips. If you don't have a prop, just take kind of a nice easy bridge. You don't have to push it all the way up. If you have a prop, go ahead and grab your bolster, blanket, block, pillow, whatever you have nearby, and drag it underneath the hips. And then lower the hips. Your arms can come slightly away from the body. And your legs can take on any shape. So you could keep your feet to the mat like bridge. You could lengthen The legs forward if you want more of a stretch for the psoas, the hip flexors. You could take reclined bound angle here. You could have the feet wide and the inner thighs and knees touching. And you could also extend the legs towards the ceiling. So find a place that works for you and start to settle in. Closing the eyes, softening the gaze, relaxing your body and your breath. Good. And you're welcome to stay in this restorative pose for longer if you'd like. You could even take your Shavasana here if you want. I'm going to guide you into Shavasana from here, and if you had something cushy underneath the hips, like a bolster or a blanket or a pillow, you could lift the hips and just press that towards your heels, and then wiggle the feet away so you eventually land on your bottom. And you could let the legs drape over that prop if it was an appropriate prop for that. If you didn't have a prop, just let the legs come long, or if you're on a block, just let the legs come long. You're welcome to put something under the knees if you'd like to alleviate any pressure or tenderness in the low back. Otherwise, you can just lay flat. Let your palms open up and let the backs, the hands touch the ground as you close the eyes. And start to settle into this final pose of rest. Coming into Shavasana, this opportunity to heal our bodies and our minds and our hearts. So through this practice of yoga, of breath and mindfulness and movement and presence, we're able to form this union within ourselves, this harmony, where we can step into this place of great peace, of ease, of grace, this place where we're most aligned physically, mentally, emotionally. And now resting, now enjoying what you created. Being open to invite in whatever you're seeking. And take the next couple moments in stillness and silence, just letting yourself rest, restore, and receive. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. If you're ready to transition with me, just begin to let your breath deepen. Without moving your body, just notice your body. Notice the outer edges of the body, the places touching the floor or the props that you're on. And as your awareness deepens, maybe bringing movement back in to fingers or toes. And then when you're ready, just make your way onto either side. So using the least amount of effort to come to the left or the right to find a fetal pose. Eyes could be closed or a soft gaze. Press the ground away, let yourself rise up to seated. And come into cross legs. We'll just be here for a moment. Let the backs of the hands touch the knees or the lap with your closed eyes and sit up tall. Take a deep breath in. And full breath out. On an inhale, allow the hands to come together in front of the heart to Anjali Mudra or prayer position, palms meet. And as you exhale, bow back to yourself and back to any intention you created. We'll end together on the sound of Om, the sound of community, starting with a letting go breath. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale a sigh. We'll begin. Deep breath in. And as your head bows back to yourself, taking one last moment to honor the divinity and the light that shine within you. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here. Have an awesome night and a fantastic weekend. And I can't wait to see you guys again soon. So I'll check in with you if you want to hang out for a minute. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. So I'm just going to turn off this recording here. So thank you guys for watching this part.